Hi everyone! In this video I will continue to tell you about the best tomato varieties of the season, and I want to dedicate this review to all those who know that tomatoes can be more than just red. The variety of shapes, colors, flavors is what I always get excited about, and why I love growing tomatoes in particular. Today you will see 3 varieties that will not leave anyone indifferent for many reasons. Let's dive in. I would like to start by telling you about a fascinating tomato called Siegel's Dark Striped, developed by John Siegel of Covington, Ohio, from a cross between Chimay Crack and the pink beefsteak. If perhaps you don't know who John Siegel is, he's the man who gave the world the chocolate stripes tomato, and as far as I understand, both of these varieties come from the same line. Siegel's Dark Striped is an indeterminate, but at the same time not the tallest variety that stopped growing at 1.6 meters, which is very convenient when planting it in not high greenhouses, and it is best to form it in 2 or 3 stems. The fruits are flat round with slight ribbing, but their main difference from many other tomatoes is that they are stunningly beautiful. Their appearance is so good, as if this variety was developed especially for showing at exhibitions. The color scheme is similar to pink Berkeley tie-dye tomato, but Siegel's Dark Striped has a brighter red and the same clear strokes of the metallic green tint. The more you let the fruit ripen, the brighter and more intense their color will be. Yes, I can't call it this season's Godzilla of yields, but I was willing to grow it again if only just for the looks. But you get the idea that it's not just pretty. The first harvested tomatoes weighed more than 200 grams, but I think this is not the limit. And here is the surprise awaiting me inside. Impeccably beautiful flash of dark red color, insanely nice picture. I knew it just had to taste good, and it did. Deep, balanced, sour-sweet flavor. This is the tomato you will choose to slice on a sandwich. This powerful flavor can be sensed even from a distance. Siegel's Dark Striped is a beauty inside and out, and even though it grew in the most shaded and humid place of my greenhouse, it showed the best qualities of a true homegrown tomato. It's been loved since the first season. Personally, it's very strange for me to realize the fact that 2 varieties from the same breeder have such a different story. While chocolate stripes is a worldwide popular variety, hardly many have heard of its closest relative, Siegel's Dark Striped tomato. I hope this video helps to rectify that injustice. Let's move on to the next no less interesting variety, which impressed me both with its high yields and unusual appearance of fruits. The OSU Blue Baccatons tomato is a very rare variety with large bunches developed at Oregon State University, and it really makes an impression. The plants are sturdy and healthy, over 2 meters tall by early August, strongly foliated, and the leaves themselves pointing downward, which is more characteristic of heart-shaped varieties, and at the same time it does not forget to form fruits throughout the season and perfectly tolerates the vagaries of the weather. Tomatoes are bright red, elongated pepper-shaped with a characteristic sharp nipple on the end, and on the shoulders there is not a large but noticeable amount of anthocyanin. And although the stated characteristics on one bunch should be from 4 to 8 fruits, I had very long bunches that formed 17 or more such bright, glossy and shiny tomatoes at around the same time. Their shape is very interesting and reminiscent of a spearhead made by Stone Age people. It's hard to just walk by and not to notice such beauty. Even those not the largest fruits of OSU Blue Baccatons exceeded 100 grams, and given the number of fruits on each bunch, I can confidently give this variety an excellent mark for its yield. The tomatoes are dense with thin skin, colored bright red on the inside. Taste is mild with sweetness without any noticeable acidity. The flavor is more like a beefsteak tomato, despite the fact that it looks dense and can certainly be canned. I did not expect such yield from this variety, and taking into account that OSU Blue Baccatons is also a tasty tomato, makes it very attractive to grow every year. And of course, I could not ignore Dr. Wyche's yellow tomato, a yellow tomato variety that is rapidly gaining in popularity. It is considered one of the tastiest yellow tomato varieties in the world. Dr. Wyche's yellow is an heirloom from Dr. Wyche, who lived in the mountains of Oklahoma next to a circus and used the manure from the elephants that performed in it to fertilize his garden. And it's actually a very good idea. Moreover, there is even a saying in Spain that goes something like "Más vale cagada de un elefante que mil de golondrinas," which translates as "better an elephant's turd than 1,000 swallows' turds." The seeds of this variety were sent to Craig LaHollier in 1992, which is where the journey of this tomato around the world began. Although Dr. Wyche himself called it a hot yellow tomato, it became known to us precisely as Dr. Wyche's yellow. The fruits are yellow peach-colored with noticeable ribbing, and the plants reached a height of 1.7 meters by midsummer. I'm not going to hide. I chose this variety for growing it based on the recommendations of those people who have already tried it. And I'll say that this tomato is absolutely worthy of these recommendations. And the fruits themselves are beautiful and not small. The weight of the tomatoes exceeded 300 and came close to the 400-gram mark. I'm sure many of you must have had even bigger ones. On the cut, the tomatoes are creamy orange, very juicy and flavorful. And the complex flavor is dominated by sweetness. Dr. Wyche's yellow tomato is another example of how all the best qualities of one variety make people save its seeds for future generations of gardeners year after year. And it is not for nothing that it gathers so many delightful reviews on various tomato forums. That's my experience with Siegel's dark striped, OSU Blue Baccatons and Dr. Wyche's yellow tomatoes. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe and, of course, love tomatoes, grow tomatoes. This is the Lucky Garden channel, and see you soon.